Welcome back. Last video we cleaned up our heads here. Got some new valve springs put in, lapped in our new valves. Got the heads all cleaned up. Got them got the surfaces all cleaned up, ready to be put back on the engine block. Got our engine block out. But before I want to button this thing up here, I got a set of studs in. Got an old gasket sitting up there right now. Got the retaining plate out. Got a couple of the new lifters out. Set of the old lifters that I converted into solid lifters in. We're gonna put the head on, tighten it down real quick, and just double check our piston and valve clearance. Something I want to do right because I changed the valves in it, just to kind of confirm what we came up with last time. I believe I had somewhere around over 200 thousandths on the exhaust valve clearance, and I think it was right around 130 on the intake. But we're not going to be using the gauge. We're going to use good old-fashioned Play-Doh. So I'll get myself set up, see what we got. Alright, we got our head off. Now, at first glance, doesn't look like the valves came anywhere close to our Play-Doh, which is really, really good. We're still good though, but if I can get in as close as I possibly can, right about there, you can see the line right, this line right here from our intake, and it just barely kissed it. Now, if I was to take a razor blade, I'm going to go ahead and peel it out though. And you can see the thickness. We're good. The only part that came close with the intake valve, as you can see, that's about the very tip of it. Go ahead and we'll measure that real quick. But piston the valve going down is good. We'll measure ourselves, this little right here, this little bit, see where we're at. All right, got our little micrometer here, digital caliper. Let's see here, make sure she's set at 0. Right there, boom, hit the 0. All right, now I'll grab. It's going to be a little bit difficult, hard for you guys to see, but I'll go ahead and measure that right now from edge of the piston to the edge of that line. If you guys can see it, but looks like we're at 114 thousandths. So you can see, valve never really even came close to the piston. That's awesome. That's great news. That means later in the future, I might be able to upgrade the 1.6 rockers when we change our springs out too later in the future, just to see what. I'm interested to see the kind of performance differences all those little things make, especially on this engine here, and if it just see what kind of power we can make with it, being all just little things we do to it to make, to a bone stock engine, from the junkyard, from cleaning it up, little things here and there, something we can all do a little bit at a time. So, all right, but now that we got that figured out, I'm gonna go ahead and get that old gasket off there, get the surface all cleaned up with some brake clean, get our new gasket, our studs, our new gaskets installed, go ahead and get the heads on, get it torqued down, one step closer to the intake. right, we got our heads on, got them all torqued down, got push rods in, got our rockers on. I torqued these heads down in 3 steps, 65, 75, and 85. I believe factory on the cast iron is between 95 and 105. I'm not going to put 105 on the aluminum heads, and I've only ever had these heads torqued down, even on the other engine, to 85, so that's why I torqued them down here. Now I got to go through and set the lash on the rockers, but before I do that, I want to go over with you guys how I found my pushrod length, because if you change the camshaft, change your heads, change the style of rockers, then chances are your pushrod length is going to change. And unless you have a neat little adjustable pushrod and solid rockers, that'd be kind of difficult to find. Plus, if you're changing the camshaft, most likely you're going to change your lifters. So I'm going to show you how to turn those into solid lifters to help you out. And unless you have a adjustable pushrod, I'm going to show you how I turned one of the old pushrods into an adjustable one to help find that, and then how I measured it out to find pushrod length. So I'll get myself set up, and I'll go ahead and run through all that with you. All right. Well, I have us set up here on the #1 cylinder. I've already installed the lifters that I turned into solid lifters, but I'm going to go ahead and take a Sharpie here and color in the top, on the top of the valve stems, black. Make sure it's nice and covered. Then I'll show you the difference here. What I'm going to do is, on the exhaust side, I'm going to install the pushrod that I ordered for the correct length. Now I'm going to install the stock length pushrod that came with this engine from the junkyard. Make sure the engine's at top dead center. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the rockers on both. Like I said, make sure it's on top dead center. It'll make it easier to set 0 on it. Just go down until there's no more up and down. You don't have to go any more than that. Just make sure there's no up and down. And like I said, I did install the lifters that I turned into solid lifters. And I will show you how to do that here in a couple minutes, but right now, just make sure everything's set. You got side to side, but there's no up and down. And then just, after you got that set, go ahead and rotate the engine over. Go ahead and rotate it over a couple of times. Make sure those rockers are wearing good on the marker you put on that mouse in. Give you a nice, good, clear mark. Then just go ahead and bring it back down to top dead center. 2 lines are, the 2 marks are lined up, the 2 dots. And we'll go ahead and pull these rockers off. Whoop. Okay, so you can see the one I ordered. Yep, we grab a little pick there. Now you can see on the exhaust side here with the one I ordered that the rocker arm, or the little roller on the rocker arm, hits pretty close to center. And then when you get the one with the stock length that came with this engine, you can see it definitely hits way high up. Now you don't want it to hit that far up. You want it to be somewhat as close to center as you can. Like this one, you can see that was center on the stem. Now the only way you can check that is if you have solid lifters. Yeah, so you need a solid lifter and an adjustable push rod. Now I've taken the stock push rod that came with that engine when we got it from the junkyard, cut about 1 inch or so out of it, used the top of a like a 1/4-20 bolt, cut the head off it, drilled up into the shorter side of the piece I cut off the push rod, and pressed the bolt end into it. That way it's a nice tight fit, doesn't turn. The other end is 1/4-20, or I can get the focus for you guys. Just does not want to focus. There it goes. It's a 1/4-20 thread that I went ahead and used a tap and threaded about as far or as deep as that tap would go. Cleaned it out, ran it up and down a couple times, make sure it turned in nice and easy. Then coated the 1/4-20 thread with Teflon to give it some resistance. That way I can turn it. And then it holds pretty close to the length I want it to be. Gives it a little bit of resistance. So that takes care of the adjustable push rod you would need to find your push rod length. Next piece, taking the factory lifter that came in that engine. Now the reason you want a solid one is because if you take your finger and push, it has a spring to it. Let me see if I can get, yeah, you can see it moving. Now that underneath the spring pressures that we have on those heads right now is going to give you a false reading. So in order to fix that, go ahead and take your little pick. It's got a little clip in there. Take the clip out. Got your little plunger. Go ahead and take that out. There's another little piece down in here. You're going to want to get that thing out. Underneath it's a spring. You can use a pick, pliers, whatever helps. I got this little clip remover tool that I just kind of wedge in there. Take it out. So we're not going to need that piece no more. There's a spring in there. Go ahead and take that spring out. Get some of the oil out of there. There you go. Should have grabbed those for you and had them set up for you, but we're going to need that. Go ahead and get most of the oil out of there. Go ahead and toss that to the side. This is like a 5/16 thread pitch or thread size bolt with a matching nut. What I do is I just thread the nut on, drop it in there, drop your little top piece on. As you can see, it fell just below where that clip goes. Let's go ahead and take it back apart. Thread it out and just adjust the nut to the point where when you put the plunger back in, it falls just shy of where that groove is for the clip. Put that back in there. As you can see, it's just underneath where that clip is. Go ahead and reinstall your clip. Make sure it's nice and locked in there. Clip's holding it in. No, can't take your finger. It's solid now. Won't push down. So that's what you need. We'll take your new lifter. We've already got that in the hole. Go ahead and take your adjustable push rod you just made. Now we know the original push rod that was in this engine was too short, so we went ahead and just adjusted this one out just a little bit bigger than the old one. Drop it in the hole. Put her on top of that lifter. Grab your pen, your marker, your Sharpie. Go ahead and color in the top of your valve stem. Go ahead and install your rocker. Adjust it till you got 0 lash. There's no more up and down, just a slight drag when turning. Once you got that set, go ahead and rotate the engine over 2 or 3 times. Make sure it gets a good wear pattern on that valve stem. And then when you stop, just so you know you turn it over about an even amount of time, just go ahead and reline the dots up, bring it back at top dead center. Go ahead and remove your rocker. Might be a little difficult to see on camera, but you can see the wear mark there. It says our push rod is a little long. That's fine. You can go ahead and wipe it off. Recolor it. Go ahead and grab it and just turn it in a little bit. Reinstall your rocker. Set it 0 lash. Turn your engine over a couple times by hand again. Set it at top dead center. Go ahead and remove your rocker. Now you can see that mark there is about center of your valve stem, that's good. It's where you want it. And then when you take it out, you want to grab yourself your digital calipers. Turn it on, make sure she's at 0. And make it simple, because a lot of us don't have 8 or 9 inch or 10 inch calipers. Like I said, turn it on, make sure it's set 0. Measure your bottom piece here, which is a 1.585. Make sure it's at 0. Go ahead and measure the gap you have here. Which appears to be a 0.732. Again, set at 0. Measure that end right there, which happens to be a 5.446. Add all those numbers together, and that came up with a 7.763. Now I ordered off-the-shelf push rods at a measurement of 7.8. And we'll show you here. 7.8 is pretty good. Pretty close to the measurement we just got off our adjustable push rod here. But go ahead and show you. We'll go put the rocker on. Get everything set at 0 lash again. Turn the engine over a couple of times. Go ahead and hand it off at top dead center. Go ahead and remove it. I got some oil on there, but you can go ahead and you can kind of see the top line there is about the same as that top line. So that's what we came up with, and that's how I was able to measure my push rod lengths and check for my piston and valve clearance as well. You need all that same stuff if you're going to use the original springs. If you have the little soft springs like what I had in the piston and valve clearance video, that's okay. You just have to be mindful of the squish on your stock lifters. That I went over all that with you guys on how I was able to do that and how you can make your own tools to check all that stuff out. We'll go ahead and get our homemade lifters out of the hole. Get our brand new ones put back in. Get the spider cage put back on. Get our lash set on our rockers. Get ready for that intake. Alright, got all our lifters back in the hole, got all our rockers on, got all our push rods in, got everything set to 0 lash. I was going to get the intake manifold bolted up, but right now it's just sitting on there. The hardware used, if I was going to use to bolt the intake manifold up, it's a little short. It's what we used on the 289, and I guess that intake was a little bit thinner. But I did set up the intake on there. Let's see if I can get a shot and show you guys what the runners look like lined up with the heads. You can see down in there, see how they line up pretty good with the heads. Well, the two that you can see, line up pretty good. Line up at the bottom there. Nice little shot with the top. Come around here. As well the other side. Ooh. See, they line up pretty good now. Nice straight shot through to the valves. So now all I have to do is get some hardware so we can get her all bolted up. But it's kind of a good thing it's not bolted up right now. Kind of want to tell you guys about a little giveaway I want to try to do. I want to try to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. You guys don't have to do anything special other than be subscribed to my YouTube channel. And follow me on Instagram at JohnnyBiggs_ToyShopFab. What I'm going to be giving away are two sets of these stands here that I use to, they help me port or lap the valves in on the heads. Work really great for holding those. Also work really good for holding intake manifolds up. Any direction you might want to put it in or needed it. Definitely works really good with the heads. Definitely had no problem flipping them around, getting the valves installed, lapping the valves, installing springs. So that's what I want to do. I want to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. And yeah, like I said, nothing special. All you have to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, JohnnyBiggs_ToyShopFab. So, comment on both. Comment on this video. Help me build. And go to my Instagram. Find the picture that says 500 subscriber giveaway. And also comment on that picture. Help me build. I'll be picking a winner from each. Yeah, one from Instagram and one from YouTube. So if you want a chance to win a set of those stands over there, make sure you comment on both. And thank you. guys, I appreciate it. It's only going to be for the US right now because, well, it's going to be my first giveaway. Try to figure it all out, see how it works, see how it goes. I do want to try to do more giveaways in the future, whether it be little tools like that to help you guys build, or little products maybe to include on some of your projects, lights, gauges, maybe wiring, something. I want to try to do that to kind of show my appreciation for you guys hanging out, watching my videos, and help me build this channel. So for helping me build, I want to help you build. So if you want a chance to win something like that and other things in the future, then just keep subscribing, keep watching my channel, and don't forget to comment, share with your friends too, because the sooner the faster the channel grows, the faster we can get on to more giveaways and other things I want to try to do. So again, thank you guys very much. I appreciate you watching. If you are new to the channel and you are just watching this, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button for me. Definitely share with your friends, leave a comment down below, especially if you want to try to win those little guys over there. And yeah, again, I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.